What's going on, guys? The Rant Man here. So, I want to talk about very quickly a pastor that I used to have, and I'll even tell you the church. I'll give you the pastor's name. This is something that has stuck with me. I mean, since golly, 2002, somewhere right around there, 2002 or so, maybe just a little before, a little after. Honestly, can't remember. It's been so long ago. But this was in a little town called Wilson, North Carolina. The church was Trinity Baptist Church, and if I remember correctly, and I'm pretty sure I do, the pastor's name was Pastor Winstead. And this goes back to the video that I did a couple days ago about religion and why I feel the way I feel. If you didn't see that video, you might want to watch it first. It's not very long. None of these videos are. It's just a quick rant, and then I'm done. Pastor Winstead, I was going through some things, and I'll be quite honest with you, I was not a good person back then. I wasn't. I was really trying to be what I felt like I was supposed to be as far as the church was concerned, but it was very difficult. I can't tell you what I was going through back then because I don't even know. All I know is that that part of my life is hell. And I made a lot of bad decisions. Well, at least they were bad decisions at the time, but, life is crazy because sometimes it takes many years of bad decisions for what was going to be your future to come to fruition. If you understand what I'm saying. If I hadn't made all of those bad decisions, if I hadn't separated from my wife at the time and left my children behind. Don't get me wrong, I regret doing that, but I don't regret the outcome. I've got children that I wouldn't have had otherwise, and I wouldn't change that for the world. And that's difficult to say to some extent because I know that I hurt my other two kids, and I know I hurt my ex-wife deeply and truthfully. Her name was Jenny, is Jenny. She didn't deserve what I did to her. But that's not what this video is about. Although that is a good lesson. Sometimes it takes a lot of bad decisions to bring about a positive future for yourself. I can't say where I would have been today if it weren't for those decisions, but I can tell you that I would not have my son Daryl and would not have my daughter Rebecca. And no, I would make the same decisions again. Although if I could, I'd probably find a better way of making those decisions. But you know what? That's life, guys. That is life. We fuck up. We live, we fuck up, we deal with the consequences. And sometimes, as difficult as it may be, we move on. So back to religion. Got a little sidetracked there, and that's going to happen on this channel probably a lot. My daughter walked up to me one day. And she was a little bitty. I can't imagine she was more than 4 years old or so. Hell, she may have been younger than that. Her name's Caitlin. And I was sitting in my car, and I was listening to rap. And I was a loser back then. No doubt I was a loser. I wouldn't hold a job. Any money I had, I didn't want to pay any bills with. I was living, my wife and I and my kid was living with her mother. I was basically just living off of people. And I'd take any money I had and I blew it on whatever, stupid shit, car stereos and shit like that. And I was a real piece of shit. All right, I want to make that very clear. No excuse for the way I behaved back then at all. But, my daughter walked up to me outside, and I know I was smoking a cigarette, and I was listening to some rap, and she said, "Daddy, you're wicked." And I don't know, like, out of nowhere is like an explosion, something just not like an anger explosion. It was just like an epiphany, like a paradigm shift, just instantaneously came over me. And I realized I would never be them. I would never be that, whatever that is. I would never be that religious. I would never have that kind of faith. I would never fit into that kind of lifestyle because all of them were God-fearing Christians, as they like to call themselves. And again, I got no problem with Christians. I got no problem with the way they live at all. I'm happy that they are happy because truthfully, that's what life is about. Life is about being happy. It's too short to be miserable. So if that's what you find peace, comfort, and happiness in, hey, I respect that 100%. Even though I may not see things the same way as you do. But I do remember I needed to go. And I didn't intend to run off to Indiana and get with my baby mama, is what I call her. That wasn't the intention to go get in another relationship and have more children. I needed to go, and I needed to figure out who I was, because I had a major identity crisis, and it's no excuse for being a deadbeat dad or a loser husband, okay? But I was definitely going through one hell of an identity crisis. I had no idea who I was, what I liked, what I didn't like. I knew my foods and music and my taste in clothes. That's about it. I'd never really figured out who I was. And, somehow in the process, I ended up getting with baby mom, which, again, I do not regret that. I regret the way everything went down, but I wouldn't have my children. I cannot regret those decisions. I can't. I just regret the way I did things. I got into methamphetamine pretty heavy for a while. No excuse. That is not an excuse. Drugs is not an excuse to fuck up. All right? Not at all. I will not use that as a handicap for my bad decisions. I made my bad decisions. Even if I was doped up while I made them, I chose to get doped up, and I chose to make those decisions. So, no fucking excuse for your decisions other than you need to own up to them. Man up, woman up, whatever the case may be. You made your decisions, own that shit. Sorry. I went to church one last time as I was leaving, and the pastor looked at me. And he stopped me at the door, Pastor Winstead from Trinity Baptist Church, Wilson, North Carolina. He shook my hand as he usually does. You walk out the door. And he just kept holding on to me. Had a tight grip, too. It was intimidating. And he looked at me. He looked dead in my eye. He said, "Son, I'm going to pray for you." I know what you're thinking. Well, that's nice, right? No. Let me finish what he said. "I'm going to pray that God takes everything away from you that you love, including your family, even if that means he has to take them home in order to bring you to the cross." According to him, and I do believe he is correct, in the Bible somewhere, I couldn't tell you where, but apparently, if God wants to get your attention, God will kill your family, your children, your loved ones, to get your attention. That is what he said to me. He said he would pray that I lost everything and everyone. And let me tell you something. To this day, that's right up front here in my head. I remember that very clearly, and I remember it regularly. When things go wrong, I've lost a lot, guys. I've had a lot, and I've lost a lot. I've had money, and I've lost money. I had an ex-wife, and I lost her. I had a family with her, and I lost them. I had friends, and I've lost them. I've lost a lot, more than I think most. I came from nothing. I came from to be quite honest with you, as a child, I came from a trailer. And I'm talking a trailer, all right? A trailer with a lot of times no electricity, no running water, no heat, hungry, poverty level. And it's a miracle. I say I don't believe in God, and then I talk about miracles. You get what I'm saying. It's a figure of speech for me. That I am where I am today. I started a business with my ex-wife, the second one, and it was a successful business. We did really well. Broke six figures. That was great. And then her and I started falling apart, and the business collapsed along with it. Had money, lost money. Ended up, ironically, back in a trailer. Not the same kind of trailer as when I was a kid. It's much nicer, but a trailer nonetheless. And trying to figure out what to do with my life until Uber came along. And then, the Uberman channel, and the rest is history. Don't get me wrong, it's not like this is Cribs and I'm I'm rich and my Bentley's sitting out in the driveway. It ain't like that at all. But the things that I've been through and the life that I've lived and the decisions that I made, I there's so many things I should be in prison for. Truthfully, no joke. Never killed anybody or anything like that, but I'm what you would call a white collar criminal. Done a lot of stupid shit, and it really is nothing short of a miracle that I am not locked up for something, and that I am where I am and I get to do what I do because I truly love it. I truly enjoy it. But I think about what that pastor said a lot. I have yet to have family pass away, but I've lost a lot. I've lost a lot. I raised with my last wife. She has 3 kids: Matt, Brandon, and Sarah. I spent 10 years raising them, you know, as their father. Their fathers were not in the picture really. I spent a decade of my life with her and with those children. And you know, I'm not going to get into all the specifics, but it wasn't entirely my fault. You know, whenever you get a divorce, there's 2 people to blame. But some things happened, and we just had to go separate ways. Just the way it was. Things were crazy, very unstable, and very, very unhealthy. So, you know, I remember being very depressed after that. I mean, extremely depressed. A decade, guys. 10 years. And the kids that I raised, they didn't really want nothing to do with me afterwards. And it's not like I was a bad father. I wasn't the greatest, I'm sure, but I wasn't a horrible father either. Just kind of an average guy, I think. And I remember thinking back to what Pastor Winstead said. You know, I hope you lose everything. And sometimes that does scare me. Because I have had stuff. And I've lost a lot. I mean, guys, I've lost a lot. I'm talking, I've had multiple properties and multiple cars and bank accounts and money, and all gone. All gone. A family, a marriage, children, all gone. Just like that. Gone. In the blink of an eye, sometimes it seems that, I mean, it didn't happen that quick, but it sure seems it was that way. And you know, life is really crazy. But I wanted to talk about what Pastor Winstead said to me, and I wanted to see what you guys think about that, especially any of you that are Christians, that are believers, you have faith, or you're saved, or whatever the case may be. And what kind of thing is that to say to a person from a pastor of a church? You think he was right? The church is an independent fundamental Baptist church. They're a little different from other churches. And sorry I got sidetracked with all that other bullshit, but you know, it all kind of... I was just sitting here thinking about it. Because, you know, today I was thinking about those kids that I had spent 10 years raising. I actually saw one of them just a little while ago, Sarah. And it just makes me realize how much I've had and how much I've lost, and how much I have again now after years of working really hard and building my life back up. But anyway, the video was primarily supposed to be about the pastor, so please comment below, tell me what you think. Definitely curious to hear your responses. Till next time, stay safe.